All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. Hey, something just popped up. There we go. All right, hit right in front as I hit the band. Welcome on in, NorCal Sports Network. Giants lose their fourth in a row tonight. Bats left somewhere, and I don't know if they left their hearts in San Francisco or their bats, but they haven't showed up for a while. But we'll get into this game. Tough losses. No action at all except the Elliot Ramos 2-run homer. And we'll break it all down for you. But first, let us thank our sponsor of the show, Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin, licensed in all of California. Make sure you give Chapman Law Group a call for all your legal needs. Chapman Law Group, specializing in personal injury. You got a personal injury? Make sure you give Chapman Law Group a call because they're going to help you get the top dollar. They're not, you settle with an insurance company before giving Chapman Law Group a call, you cost yourself thousands and thousands of dollars, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. So give them a call, 415-613-9483, and let them know NorCal Sports sent you. All right, Lou. This was a game that, it's almost like us Giants fans thought you get Rafael Devers and, hey, they just all of a sudden everything's going to just turn around and they're going to waltz into the playoffs and they're going to be unstoppable, The problem seems to continue because right now he's probably pressing. You can see him kind of swinging at first pitches. He's trying to do too much. He even admitted so last night that he was nervous, but he was trying to hit one out. And he's that's the problem when you have one guy. It's kind of like Steph Curry with the Warriors, where Steph's just asked to do it all, and Rafi comes in here and every high expectations, and they're not scoring anything. And Jung-Hoo Lee, I just see a comment, every single dung poo pee ground ball goes to this. I was thinking the same thing, NorCal Sports Talk Live. It goes to second base every time. I was thinking the exact same thing. It's the same hit. I don't know, man. Who
Dan,
you blamed it?
Well, Dan, I have three things.
Chat wants to blame somebody.
Of course, obviously, but I'll take it over. I have three things I wanted to complain about. One is I don't care that Verlander's been pitching 20 years. I always think when you come off the DL for more than 2 weeks, he's been on the DL for almost 5. You got to have one practice game with AAA. I don't really care. Just do it to get your fundamentals. You could tell he had problems gripping the ball. He had problems throwing over the top. And then, again, on a 2-strike pitch, he gave up that launch. It's amazing. Opposing teams, when they hit homers, it goes out. Ramos tonight went out easy. So it's not the ballpark, it's the players. That's number one. Number two, I agree, but the Giants are living and dying by the home run ball. How about just put 3 singles together? I was going in between on one of the TVs. I had the Houston Astros tonight. They have 17 hits. 17. Only 1 homer. Right? They got 9 runs. That's how you win ball games. Okay, my last complaint. 1 for 19 with runners in scoring position. I've gone 1 for 13 yesterday, 0 for 6. That's a problem. And it's been a problem all season. Dan, I think you bring a great point. Devers comes in. Everyone thinks it's solved. But again, we have problems against lefties. Today was a lefty. And if you look at the lineup, I hated the way the lineup was adjusted to go against a lefty. Okay?
Nobody adjusts their lineups.
We do it way too much. I mean, first of all, and it sort of hurt the Giants. Okay, you had Fitzgerald batting 7th. Okay, you had Lee batting 6th. Every time, you needed somebody like batting 4th or 5th. It's just, they got to be more consistent. I don't care if it's a lefty. I don't care if it's a righty. Keep the same lineup. Okay, because here's the problem. Our lineup was so different than usual. Our 8th and 9th hitters today, look at our 8, 9, and 1 got 5 of the 6 hits. One was a home run, yes, but we're living and die by the long ball. But when you get 5 hits from 8, 9, and 1, you should score more than 2 runs. So, I was a little upset. But,
you bring up some good points, and I don't understand why we changed
the lineup.
Again,
I'm done for the day. I finally got a compliment. Thanks, chat. No, I'm kidding. It's just one of those things you see.
I just don't understand why we have to change our lineup based on, right-handed pitcher or left-handed pitcher. You don't see any other teams that are good that do that. They just leave their lineup alone.
Left the building.
Yeah, it's just what do we got here? Hey, Dan, can you do your Gabe Kapler impression of tonight's lineup? Rushing, Verlander, Dung Poo P, and Devers will be reviewing a cheeseburger. Oh gosh, thanks, Sean. Yeah, well, you got to balance the smoke. Yeah, this burger, a fine burger, and the fries and the wine, just a great added touch. Oh, yeah. What is Spencer saying? This lineup has too many holes, even with the. Hey, look, guys, I'm telling you, they're not going to go far if they don't add another bat. Okay, this can be a playoff team the way it is, just because they're better with Devers, but they're not going to, if you really want to try to go for it, so to say, you got to go get a Marcell Ozuna. He's a free agent, and I want to see Ozuna. I want to see Ozuna in this lineup batting cleanup. And Eddie F says Ozuna is trash. Well, let's take a look at Ozuna, how he's doing. I haven't actually looked at his total numbers, but since you said he's trash, we'll pull him up and we'll see.
And Atlanta's won 2 straight over the Mets. Mets are starting to falter a little bit. So
is it 1 straight or 2? I thought okay.
They won yesterday 5-4, and then today Sale.
I thought the Mets won yesterday.
Shut them out 5-0. Yeah, they led late, and then they came back, Atlanta. So
Marcell Ozuna is batting .257 on the year. He's got 11 homers, 38 RBIs, .816 OPS. That's higher than anybody else on the Giants except Devers.
He's second in every single category for the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. We've got come on, what's going on with my little thing? I don't know what's going on with the comments tonight. Hold on here.
And Dan, what I thought was funny, last night, Cleveland Indians had a guy hit a 3-run shot. They win. Today, a different guy. Tomorrow will be someone like Ramirez. That's what happens when you have other guys that can contribute. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's one of those things. On any given day, they probably average 4 or 5 runs. If the pitchers just give up 3, they're done. Again, another game, less than 4 runs, 2 runs. And this is at home. You can't score just 2 runs.
Every weeknight game at home is 2 runs. It just is. Hey, you know what? I am going to do something. We've got some things that I'm missing in this chat. I'm going to back out and reboot because something's not showing up on my screen here. So I'm going to leave the studio. Take it over, Lou. And just carry on, and I'll be back in less than 2 minutes. You're muted, by the way.
No problem. I got it.
Okay. All
right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Alexander, Jung-Hoo Lee is a lefty Matt Duffy. That's I think Lee's a little bit better than Matt Duffy. I think the problem with Matt Duffy is he had 1 good year, and then the whole entire Giants organization got upset that we traded him. And what did Matt Duffy do after we traded him? He had a half a good year, and he's nowhere now. He's probably teaching shuffleball or something, or softball. So, but no, I understand what you're saying. Jung-Hoo Lee, the problem is now with Jung-Hoo Lee, and I've been bringing this up, is the league has now had a chance to see him. Last year, he only batted literally maybe 5 weeks, and then he got injured. He came out this year. He was ahead of the game, but now the scouting report is on Jung-Hoo Lee. So, you guys just got to be patient. The guy hasn't even played a whole entire year in the majors. But that's what good teams do. They see flaws on batters. Look at Fitzgerald, guys. Last year, Fitzgerald had a 6-week run where it's like, oh, my God, this guy might hit 50 homers. I think he had like 10 homers in 6 weeks. But the team has now adjusted. They know its flaws. And the one thing about pitching in the major leagues, when they know your flaws, every single person knows it. They're going to do it so bad until you come out of the slump. And unfortunately, Fitzgerald right now, it's tough. It's almost like an automatic out. So.
Yeah. Rob says if the Giants miss the postseason, Bomel won't be back. My guess is Burrell will be the next scapegoat. You know what I was thinking as I was watching the game? I was thinking, man, I love how Stephen Vogt's managing this game and, making key pitching changes with the way the Giants lineup was set. And I love that. And I just think his demeanor, personality is more fit for some of the younger players. I don't know.
And Dan, would you have thought the Indians have lost 8 out of 11 games, the first 2 games of the series?
That they were coming in here losing 8 out of 11?
Yeah.
Not really. I think they're pretty solid, decent. They've got holes, but hey, every team goes through losing streaks. This is what I said to the Giants when they got up to a high of 13 over 500. I said, just don't come back and start. They won 7 straight. Just don't lose 7 straight. Well, they're on their way.
They lost 5 straight before the 7 straight.
Right. And I said, this is what the 500 type teams do. I think the Giants are a better than a 500 club, but I've got concerns. And here's my concerns. And are these concerns going to be changing throughout the year? Well, sports ebbs and flows. That's why you don't, you have an opinion on one day and then 3 days later you change your opinion because of what's going on and what's happening. And you look for signs. And so my concern is that this team, remember I've been saying they need to add a pitcher. I think they need 2 starting pitchers. Here's why. I think you got Webb and Ray you can count on. And I think Birdsong's going to be pretty reliable. But beyond that, I don't think you can trust Roop, and I don't think you can trust Verlander. Verlander's throwing meatballs up there. So those 2 are concerns to me. Roop has the potential to turn it around, but I think you need some veteran starting pitchers that can eat up innings. Adi, we should trade. There's a left-handed pitcher in that's pitching process. We should trade Devers for Harrison. Exactly, Johnny. Verlander is washed. Come on. He had a great career. He's a Hall of Famer, but we saw this happen to Randy Johnson when he hung around a little too long. We're seeing it kind of guys like Max Scherzer. Verlander looks like a little long in the tooth. Look, last year he wasn't good. Bumgardner, when he lost it, he kind of lost it, right? People just started hitting him hard. Look for the hard ball hit rate, and you look for things like that. So I think the Giants need to add a couple of pitchers. one thing that Bob Quinn, former general manager, Brian Sabian, former general manager, Al Rosen did, they didn't just make one deal when they were putting together a playoff team. The 87 team made like 3 or 4 trades at the deadline. They added so many guys. Heidi Cruz, remember old Heidi Cruz? I remember that deal. They brought in different role players that fit the team. You got to constantly be making things. Look, the Giants have lost 4 in a row. They were 1-29, and now they're 41-33. Yeah. Is that, am I?
Yeah, you're right.
Ooh, LSU advances to championship series.
Horrible game. Arkansas led by 4 going in the 9th to force tomorrow, and a guy, the left fielder, blew it. Got his cleat stuck. Ball almost hit him in the head. Complete error, and it was over. The curse of Omaha. They call it with Arkansas.
Curse of Arkansas. All right, so the Giants are 41-33. Quietly, since the Giants caught the Dodgers on Friday night, they were tied for first. They're now 4 back. The Dodgers have won. What's that?
Thanks for coming. It was good to see you up here.
Yeah. 4 back. Dodgers probably win this division by 10 plus again. They just play with.
And what's amazing about the 4 games, Dan? I mean, Ohtani had that one game where he hit the 2 homers, but it's guys you never heard of. It's not the big 3 beating the Padres. They got the Padres number. It's it's one of those things. So
spots 3 through 7 in the lineup were collectively 0 for 17 at the plate. I've got to believe they make a change just to make a change at some point. This guy says Wisely would be a better bats than Fitz. They may end up, if they're going to do this, if guys aren't hitting, you might bring up Wisely for costs and just start playing Wisely a little bit more. I mean, what is Fitzgerald giving this team?
He can bunt. That's about it.
Hey, Dan, I got a question. With Verlander, what is he making? I think $20 million?
15.
1-year deal or 15?
15. Yeah.
He's now 0-4 with an ERA of almost 5.
Yeah.
I mean, do you maybe say, hey, do you want to go back to Texas? This isn't working out. I'm just trying to think, they can try to save some money, maybe put a package together? Because we have the pitching. We just can't have him coming in before Webb. Because and again, I know it's just the way it works, but the way it's sort of the rotation now is he's going to be sort of going and then Webb. But, if he can't win and then Webb loses, it's almost like 3 losses in a row. We came here for him to pitch 6 innings, be a leader. And before anybody in the chat says, oh, he's good in the clubhouse, I don't really give a shit how they are in the clubhouse. I care about what they do on the field. And, we paid a lot of money for this guy. He, he's probably our highest paid pitcher. I don't know what Ray's making because that deal was sort of.
Oh, Ray's making 25.
Okay. So, you got to start thinking like this now. Hey, he's great. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, but he's just maybe not one of us. I just want to bring that up because, he doesn't have a win for us. I know a couple of the early ones, he didn't get tribute, but you got to think about this. He's older. You want to do something before he goes back on the DL. I'm just thinking of our rotation. So
yeah. That was, hey, look, a turning point in the season may have been the gopher ball that the 3-run homer that Ryan Walker gave up to Andy Pages with the Giants.
I'm sorry, who? I'm sorry, who?
Ryan Walker.
No. Who's the guy that hit for the Dodgers?
Andy Pages.
Yeah, like I said, that's what I mean. The big Dodgers aren't beating us. They have guys that are showing up on the Dodgers lineup. That's what I mean.
Yeah, well, he's having a good season.
Yeah, but you only think of the big 3, I'm saying, with the Dodgers.
Yeah, well, they really got a big 5 if you think about it. Will Smith's an all-star, and so is Teoscar Hernandez. So you add that, then you
Six,
get in Pages is doing well, but Pages hits that 3-run homer. Giants are down 2-0, and you're thinking, oh man, they just traded. They got the Devers deal, and everybody's pumped up. And if they hold on and win that game, and they're tied for first coming into to back home, and you have Devers coming, it's it's a different feeling. That's a good comment, Barry. Thanks to good old Barry Bonds to bring it up. Jay Smitty, I saw the lineup and I knew we were going to lose. What is it with they can't hit left-handed guys that throw soft?
I just it's been like that all season.
You know how you beat guys like that? That stupid hanging ball. You just
Go the
drive
other
it to
way.
right field.
Yeah,
Go the other way. Just drive. Don't sit there and try and pull that crap. That's what he's trying to get you to do. That's the same way that the Dodgers did to who was that junk pitcher that they would throw? The trying to think of the pitcher that. Anyway, I know they did it with Anthony DeScalfani. Look, you got to have a hitting, and I know they do. They have a hitting plan, but why did we not see any balls go to right field that were driven, that were on a line? Everything was a pop-up. Look, when I see a softball coming in at, what's he throwing that softball? 79, I think I saw it at tonight on the radar.
Yeah.
And it's hanging out there on the outside corner. Smoke that thing on a line drive, man. That right to right field. Just boom. Don't try and hit it out. Just hit a nice bam. Get the bat, stop uppercutting everything. That's how you make pop-ups. Do you know how many pop-ups the Giants have? Like everybody flies
daily, probably at least Baker's dozen. And we're talking sort of weak pop-ups.
They're just all weak pop-ups, except Jung-Hoo Lee. He hits the ball the same right into the ground. He gets on top of the ball all the time. Yep. I don't understand how they don't have guys that can just go with the pitch. It's just I never seen so many guys just weakly pop out. It's just like, I mean, a lefty that's throwing junk, you have to wait on it. And as you see it, it's coming right into you as a right-handed batter. So if you see it's on the outside, just wait for it and go with it. When you try and pull that soft stuff is why you see the pop-ups. And you see guys swinging on top of the ball because they're trying to crush it. Look, the Giants just have a weak hitting team. And Buster Posey and Zach Benayason are going to have to do something different. The hitting approach of trying to pull everything is just not working. I mean, let's take a look. They're 1 for 17 with runners in scoring position the last 2 nights, right?
No, 1 for 20, 1 for 19.
1 for 19. So they were 1 for 6 tonight?
No, 0 for 6. They were 1 for 13 6. Last night. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 for, okay, there you go. Yeah. Let me just pull something up here.
Padres trying to make it close in the 9th.
I mean, they had their shot in the 8th. Didn't they have a couple guys on in the 8th? And wasn't the 8th inning their chance? Let me go back to the bottom of the 8th. In the bottom of the 8th, the Giants had Adames reach on an infield single, which she should have been on second base, by the way. I mean, supposedly, did he forget he was a leader, or did he decide since Rafi is here now that he doesn't have to be, the pressure's not on him, I'm no longer the leader. Look, dude, that was a high pop-up, and if you do they not have meetings like before the game with the manager? Hey, tonight's a windy night. Any pop-up could be a real, possibility. Hustle the pop-ups out. Guys may misjudge them and come running out of the box.
Yeah, even
in
Kruko
the
and
dugout.
Kipe talked about it. Even Kruko and Kipe said those balls always come back.
Yeah, even in the stinking dugout, don't you just say, "Hey guys, we got to hustle on these fly up pop-ups that they could drop tonight." I mean, Adames, I'm sorry, that's a kangaroo court fine, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. He should have been on second.
That was
the
leadoff dude.
Three guys. Yeah, leadoff.
That's the leadoff guy.
And it's a big difference when you got somebody at second, nobody out, and just a guy at first.
Right. So he leads off with that. Then Devers flies out, I think, on the first pitch to left.
Yeah, the opposite way. He tried to hit it to Oakland.
Oh yeah, that was a rough inning. Everybody looked bad. Flores flied out to center. Schmidt fouled out to first.
Yep.
It was just like swinging it. Where was their opportunity? They had a chance. I guess it was.
When Yaz got to second. Oh no,
Yaz walked in the seventh inning. He got to second on the balk. So scoring position. Bailey struck out. Ramos struck out. That was the seventh inning. The sixth inning, Devers popped out to shortstop. Then Flores got hit by a pitch. Schmidt grounded out on a weak grounder to first. And then Lee grounded out to shortstop. And in the fifth inning, they got their 2 runs on the Ramos home run. But, I would say other than the Rafael Devers double last night in his second at bat, then there really hasn't been anything to get excited about.
No.
The Ramos home run was nice, but there's been no rallies.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You got to put base hits together. By the way, 3-2 Dodgers in the ninth. Sacrifice fly. So Padres still trying to make a little dent. No, Dan, I agree. And this sort of brings up something. I think tomorrow is almost like a must win, considering how everything's changed in the last 48 hours. Everyone was excited about the trade, even though we got lost 2. And now, we've lost this series. We can't really get swept at home by Cleveland. I think tomorrow, especially with Webb going, it's almost like a must win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't want to be swept going into Boston where, it's going to be sort of strange, with the whole circumstance Friday night. Yeah. So
let's see. As Dallas says right up there, it can't be
3-3, by the way. 3-3. Padres scored 2 in the ninth.
Nice.
Got a chance to take the lead.
Can't be a team thing. We need a scapegoat. All right. So who's our scapegoat tonight? Let's find a scapegoat. How about the new guy, Devers? Should we just get rid of him? He stinks. He's awful. He's 0 for 3 tonight with a strikeout. Come on. I thought this guy was supposed to be good. I've had enough of Devers. I say move off of him, Lou. Move off of Devers. Get him out of here.
Yeah. And I think Fitzgerald with another error.
He struck out.
Fitzgerald, I think, had 3 errors.
I'm all on Devers, man. I'm on Devers. I'm being facetious here, guys.
Of course.
I'm pointing out that even the best of players go through rough times. And
he needs a week to relax, get used to the West Coast, to the Giants, and he'll be fine.
Yeah. So I'm being facetious.
I believe is not a problem.
But I do think, they've got holes. Let's see, from 3 through
7. Well, how about Bailey gets 2 hits, but with runner scoring position, he's 0 for 2. And by the way, he was. You know how you brought this up last night, Dan, where everyone was giving Schmitty a bad time at the very end? You guys saw what a reliever. He did it again tonight.
Yeah.
The closer for Cleveland didn't pitch a curveball until it was 1-2 on Bailey. Bailey never took the bat because he goes, oh, my God, what the hell was that? That's what makes a great reliever.
He saves it
Yeah.
for 2 strikes, and the the batter's so blown away he can't even swing at it. So
yeah. For all you guys hearing me talk about Devers, I was joking. Okay, I'm just trying to point out that, guys, it's takes a while. Some guys go through. Look, great players go through 1 through 20 streaks. Okay, happens quite often. I could probably pull up Aaron Judge. Let's see just curious what Aaron Judge has done the last week. Aaron Judge, 3 for 24, hitting 125 in his last 24 at bats.
And how many strikeouts? How many strikeouts?
Judge, he has. Well, that one's not giving me the strikeouts. I'm not looking.
Because I know he struck out 9 times in 3 games. So he's probably got 11 strikeouts. So half the time, I'd get rid of that guy. Why keep him?
Yeah.
Thank God he's not a Giant and he's with the Yankees.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. I mean, Corey Seager is a guy who is 9 for his last 54, hitting 167. Okay. And 0 home runs. Okay. That's a guy that is a top hitter. Look, it happens. So when it happens to other guys, we look at it. I don't know what the answer is for this team.
Yeah, Phillips brings up a great point. His last Phillip, I completely agree.
This one? That one? Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy. Look, I do think guys like Fitzgerald are, we're probably. I don't think Fitzgerald is probably the everyday player. Look, you guys have heard me talk about Casey Schmidt a lot. I've never said that Casey Schmidt is an everyday player. I said you got to give him a chance to play every day so you can determine if he's an everyday player or not. You'll find out generally if you give a guy about 25, 30 games in a row and just let him go. And if you don't see progress enough to say, hey, this is a guy that we want as part of our future. We want him, but he's our utility guy, or we want him because we think he's going to be a really, really good, solid everyday player. You have to determine that at some point in the majors. You got to give certain players runs. But I think George is right here. The Giants really need a batter, first base, second base, right field, and maybe a catcher. Look to improve and get on Verlander and Yaz's salary. It's kind of funny because Yaz had another big night tonight. Didn't he get a couple of hits tonight too? He got 2 for 3.
And the one in the ninth to extend it.
Guy's up to 262.
He's as high as he can be. Sell him.
Yeah. There you go. Because it's coming back down. I hate to be Debbie Downer, but haven't we seen this with Yaz for 4 or 5 years? That would be the time to move off of him. Get that value up. Get some pieces for him, a piece, and see what you can do. But this team is really, it's hard to watch, especially weeknights at home. The ball just doesn't seem to do well. The Giants just don't, and the Giants are hard to watch at home. I'm looking at this lineup, and other than Ramos and Devers, I don't see anybody that scares me. What about you, Lou?
No.
I mean, here, let's just take a look at the lineup. Who scares you? I don't even know if the word scares. is something.
How about someone that you could trust when you need a big base hit or a sacrifice fly?
I'm just talking about the defense when the opposing team looks at that lineup and goes, oh, gosh, we got to get through Murder's Row coming up. Like, when you're at the planning against the Dodgers and you got the ninth guy coming up and you go, oh, shoot. After the ninth place guy, we got Ohtani, Betts, Freeman. And we're like, how are we going to get through this inning? Where in the Giants lineup do you look and go, oh, my goodness, how are we going to get through this gauntlet? Ramos to an extent is a, solid player. Adames is like, he's a guy you can pitch to and get outs. Devers, he's obviously a star player. Flores, you probably got to be careful about where you pitch. But the rest of the lineup, there's nobody that strikes any fear in the lineup. There's zero fear. So, like every team, like you look at the Phillies. I mean, Harper's out right now, but when Harper gets well, you're going to have to go through Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos,
Realmuto. Yeah.
Realmuto.
4 or 5 guys. Yeah.
Bohm. We mentioned the Dodgers, the Braves. You got Olsen, Acuna, Riley, and Ozuna. I mean, there's guys that you got to think and go, we got to be careful here because this could be a big inning. I don't know. I did hear them talk. I'm seeing some comments about Casey, guys. You heard, I don't know if you listened to the broadcast, they talked about Casey, how much power he has, how many balls he's just jacking out of the park in batting practice. He just needs his confidence, and he needs to, prior to tonight, he'd been hitting pretty well. He'd been hitting over 300 in the last, he was 8 for 28 prior to tonight. Now he's 8 for 32. What is 8 for 32? It's in the high 200.
Dan, do you think a big problem is having a little success hitting wise?
250, yeah. What's that?
Do you think a big problem, and this is just me, I just sort of realized, we go to Colorado in the high altitude, we win 6-5.
There you go.
We then win 10-7.
Look what Aaron just said. Will Smith just walked it off. You know what? You know what Will Smith's got waiting for him in the clubhouse after that? What's he got coming to him, Lou?
Oh, I don't know. Does he have a special treat that he does when he wins?
Yeah. Bake that dough. Baked dough.
Oh, God. He's got the cookies.
He's got the cookies in the clubhouse waiting for him. The party, the birthday party cake ones.
Oh, and I haven't had those yet. I like I've had the zebras and then the oatmeal with chocolate. I have not had the birthday one yet. Thanks, Aaron. But I'll have to put a request in.
So
it's going to be 90 degrees this weekend and a couple beers during the day. Listen to Giant games. I better order some. Yeah, Dallas 8 for 32 is good for being a Giant.
That's Casey. That's his last 32 at bats. He's hitting 250, few homers. Look, if somebody had, even take out the grand slam he hit off the the
Dodgers at the end.
Enrique Hernandez, take that one out.
Yeah,
he still has in that week. He still had 2 homers and 7 RBIs. I think you take that every week from somebody. Yeah. Imagine.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying it's look, guys are going to go 0 for 4, but what I look for is pattern.
Consistency, sure. And that's what I was going to bring up. If you look at Colorado, we won 6-5 at Colorado in game 1. We scored, I think, 3 runs in the 8th or 9th to take the lead. Then game 2, if you remember, the Giants were down. They were down like 7-3, and they scored a whole bunch of runs. Now you get the offense going.
You then win 6. You then lose in that dramatic game 8-7, but you still are hitting the ball. It's not pitching's problem; it's hitting. You feel good, but then you go to the Dodgers and you come back to reality. Now you come home and you're really back at reality. So it's just, that's why it's who you play, where you play, and when you play them.
What the Giants need to do right now is win 3 of the next 4. And you've lost this series, salvage it tomorrow. And if somehow you can sweep Boston as you just swept Atlanta the previous weekend series you had, then you walk out of here with a 4-2 home. Well, then they still have 3 more after that. So this is an important homestand. This is an important homestand because it's a chance to actually put a little distance between you and some of the other wild card contenders. I mean, the Dodgers just do this crap. You get close to them and you think, oh, they're down. And then bang, they start, they walk it off tonight. And you got to hear all that Randy Newman crap song down there.
I love LA.
Yes.
Speaking of that, Dan, I just did want to bring up to the chat, in case you didn't see, the owners of the Los Angeles Dodgers purchased the majority ownership of the Los Angeles Lakers. And that's because they can. So only $10.8 billion, not a big deal. So, but Dan, I think you bring up a great point. I think tomorrow is huge because Boston, like I said, could go either way. Boston, hey, they made the trade. They won 5 straight, so they're going to be coming in hot. Okay. Then you after Boston, which can be a very emotional series, you then play the lonely Miami Marlins, which has us, oh my God, we're just going to show up and sweep. That's where you lose 2 out of 3. Then everyone keeps saying, we go to the White Sox. They stink. Chicago's got good pitching. They're not as bad as Colorado, and you're on the road. Then you go to 4 games at Arizona, where, those games are always tough because you can hit. Then you go to 4th of July, you go to Oakland. Rivalry. I mean, they've been waiting for it up there. It's going to be chaotic, small thing. And then, of course, we come home for Philly for 3, Dodgers for 3. So it's not going to be easy. And we can't be doing this 1 for 8 runners scoring position because it's impossible when you're down 2 runs when you can't hit to bring the game back.
Look, what this team needs is 4 runs. What Buster said in the press conference when he called out John Shea, who John Shea was like, talking about about the ballpark. He said, hitters hit, John. And that's the problem. The Giants don't have hitters. They got a hitter. Now you need to go find another hitter. You need to go somehow find that guy. Loyalty over money won maybe the winning comment of the night. I swear y'all fans are drunk. It's baseball. This happens. Guys are going to have a stretch of bad games. Exactly. It happens, man. I just read to you Aaron Judge is 3 for his last 24. Okay. What are you going to get rid of the guy because he's a bum? He says Casey was hitting good until he hit that ball off his foot. That probably is still nagging him. Look, guys, there's a ton of people in the Baseball Hall of Fame that failed 70% of the time or better. Okay. Failed 70% of the time or close to it. Say 65%, because you've got to factor in on base percentage. But the odds are in the pitcher's favor by over 60%, even against an Aaron Judge. It's not easy. First of all, you got to hit the ball. And then secondly, it's got to go find somebody, where they're not. So look for patterns, look for the things, what you see. Giants will hit on the road, but at home, they got too many Ks and warning track hitters. Yeah, they don't hit well at home. Exactly. They do better on the road. Yep, Armstrong is pretty good.
Giants are 1-10 against the AL Central. So
who'd they beat?
They won one game at home against Kansas City 3-2, but they lost 2
that's
out of
right.
3 at home against them. And then Detroit.
So they're 1-10 against the AL Central?
Yeah.
Wow.
So do me a favor. We're going to be going to Chicago. Last time I looked, they are in the American League Central. So just because we're going there, don't think, this is going to be easy.
I'm not comparing Nick. Come on. I know you don't like Schmidt, but I'm not comparing Casey to Judge. I'm just saying you guys cherry pick. You love Casey when he hits a grand slam and he hits a homer in Colorado, and then he makes some great plays, and then he makes a couple blunders, and he goes 0 for 4, and all of a sudden he sucks. Look, the guy's just getting his chance to play every day for the first time since really the rookie season, when they called him up and stuck him in there. And he, obviously was not good this first year at hitting, but he made adjustments when he came back, got a little better. Last year, made some adjustments. Look, he's just getting to play. Let's judge Casey Schmidt off of when Chapman comes back. If Casey gets another 15 to 20 games, then let's make a judgment at that point and say, okay, he can play every day at second base, or no, he's doesn't look like he is an everyday player. You have to give guys an opportunity. Last year, Matos was as hot as could be, won National League Player of the Week, and everybody, says he's great. Then he has a slump for 10 days, and the Giants send him down and says, a lot of people say, he stinks. Well, I think Matos can hit. I think he just needs to be given time to prove it, and not just 2 or 3 weeks. Trying to look here.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Dan, before I say anything, and I know Los, myself, in the chat, we just want to wish you good luck tomorrow with your surgery.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're not going to go
problem.
too long tonight because I'm going to.
No problem.
I got to get up early and.
Good luck. We need you.
Yeah. I don't know if I probably won't be on tomorrow night. I'll probably take the night off.
Well, I think most of the chat's probably going to be watching not the NBA game, but the big WNBA when Caitlin Clark plays the Valkyries. Obviously, that's the priority of everybody tomorrow.
Oh, is that it? Is that in San Francisco?
Yes, it is.
Shoot, I might have to see if I can put off that surgery to get there. Because you know how I feel, Lou. About
talk to me.
How do I feel about the WNBA and the Valkyrie?
Is it a double negative? A double negative. I like it.
Yeah. None of that.
I agree.
Yeah. I thought the best moment of the WNBA was last night that I saw a highlight on ESPN today. A chick fight under the hoop.
Cat fight.
Yeah, it was like a cat fight. Girl goes up for a layup. She leaps. She gets 3 inches off the ground. The other girl wraps her around the neck and throws her down. And we got a cat fight. Yeah, Mitchell and Ness. He says, that's fair. With Casey, I don't mind giving him his play. I've said before, but if it doesn't produce both of you better call him out like other players on the team. No goalpost moving, please. Yeah, that's all I've ever said is give him an opportunity. I said the same thing about Ramos a couple years ago. Ramos started off a little hotter last year when he came up. But I thought, Casey, he kind of got hurt early in the year with the oblique, went on the IL for over a month, comes back, gets some spot starts, playing a little first base, and then Chapman goes down. And, he's held in there admirably, but he's going to need time. He's nowhere near a finished product. You could see the power he's got in the Kuiper and Crooked Kuiper were talking about him tonight on the broadcast about when he came up, how many balls he hits out in batting practice. Look, and everybody could say, well, that's batting practice. I've been to many batting practices, and there's a lot of guys that just have lazy fly balls that don't even make it to the warning track in batting practice. They're just fly balls into the – but when you see guys crushing ball after ball after ball into the seats, you know that guy has power. And
Dan,
Alex
I agree. Do you remember that guy, Roy Hobbs? He came from the Edmonton Oilers. Let me tell you the one thing, too, is nobody's talking about with Casey. Is there's a big difference when you're not a starter. When you come off the bench and you play a couple days. Then you're the starter and you have success. Everyone expects you to have success. So now I'm going to go to the lineup tonight. There's a lot difference when you're batting 7th or 8th, when you're batting 5th. Okay? You're batting 5th in this team that's not hitting. So there's a lot more pressure on you to come through, which really isn't fair to him. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing we say when Chapman, who's not really a 3rd or 4th place batter, when he comes up. That's what the Giants are missing. And that's what we mean when they got to have the exact same lineup, more consistency.
Yeah, Chapman is not a number 4 hitter. No. He is just not. And he's going to come through every now and then for you because
he also makes $26 million a year. He better come through occasionally.
Yeah, he's a big leaguer. Yeah. Hey, did I compare Casey to Ramos? Just because I mentioned a guy's name in the sentence doesn't mean I'm comparing. If you heard me correct, go back and rewind it. I said Ramos was obviously hotter and he started hot right away. I'm not saying Casey Schmidt is Ramos. I'm just saying give Casey a chance, and it might take him a little longer. Ramos took advantage of it right away.
Just like Matt Williams.
Yeah. And again, I'm not here trying to say Casey Schmidt is the all-star of the Giants going forward, and he's going to be the, heir apparent, and he's going to be something that the Giants are going to, pencil in every day for the next 7-8 years. I don't know. I personally think that Casey could benefit from a change of scenery and start at third base for some other team because he's always going to be compared here to Chapman now. It's like if he plays third base, he's going to be compared to Chapman. If, I don't know. But I think he's a good guy to have on the team. He's a really good backup in case Chapman gets hurt. What happens if Chapman has another injury? He is getting older, and he signed for 5 more years after this, right? This is the first of 6 years, correct?
Yeah.
So he's got 6 years or 5 left. What did he sign for? 6.
No, 6-year
That's
deal,
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Adames was a 7-year deal, right? Yeah.
Yes, correct.
So I think Casey's a good backup to have, because if he's not a starter and you don't have a spot for him playing second base or first base, he's a good guy to have as a utility guy. And if somebody goes down, he could fill in. That's what guys are, So we'll see.
I'm not even sure his name. Patton 616.
Oh, this one, extend Chapman before it's give him another 5 or 6 years on top of that.
I will say one thing, guys, is obviously Chapman might not be back until the end of July. So that gives Casey 6 weeks, 7 weeks as a starter. Dan will be the first to say, hey, guys, he tried for 2 months. Maybe he's not as good as I thought. Or he can come back and say, see, I told you so. But you can't just
That's
go
all
off
I said, yeah.
10 games. And that's all you want. So at the end of
Harry
July,
says you
Dan
just
will
said
be
Casey
completely.
must play every day. I did say that while Chapman's out. Yes. It's called comprehension 101. I said he needs to play every day until Chapman is out and see what he looks like. And if he's performing, then you either trade him for a piece that makes sense to your ball club, or you put him at second base because he's better than what you have now at second base. So we don't know what Casey is. We don't know if he's an everyday player. We don't know if he is just a utility guy. We have to find out, and this is an opportunity for the Giants to find out. And I think the Giants are going to use this opportunity to find out. You know, they feel very comfortable with him at third base. Defensively, they're not hurting a bit there. It's offensively. It's all going to come down to, can he hit? And, you know, we're talking about Casey. My goodness. I don't know why we bring up Casey in the chat. You guys address it, but how about the rest of the lineup that can't hit? Why are we focused? How about Jung-Hoo Lee, who's making $19 million a year? This guy is not hitting. He's hitting on the season right now, 261 and dropping. Who else is
Didn't
not
it seem
hitting?
like he was just batting 320?
A month or so ago. Yeah. A little over. But Adames, 207. Lee, I mentioned. Fitzgerald, 238. Yaz is starting to hit. But Bailey, 193. You know, there's just too many holes in the lineup. And Riggs says Devers' pickup was unnecessary. Well, how are you going to find a hitter, Riggs? What would this team be like without Devers? I mean, it's like, okay, just to make it fair, we're going to intentionally walk the bases loaded just to give you a chance to see if you can score. I mean, that, you know, you play, you know how you're playing with younger kids and you give, okay, you know, you race them for a 100-yard dash. I'll give you a 40-yard dash lead. Or, you know, we're going to play hoops to 21 and we're going to give you 18 points. You only need to make 3, you know, hoops.
Yep.
I mean, this is kind of like the Giants. Yep. How do you say that's unnecessary? I don't get that. Yeah. Yeah, the whole team. Look, this is I think, I don't know, Casey, they might just turn Casey into try to be more of a power hitter. I don't know. He's got pop. You could see it in the way the ball moves. I mean, he hit that one to center straight away tonight. They went almost to the warning track. He didn't get all of it, but he hit it 380 feet. Aaron's got another comment. Yeah, how about
Oracle?
Is Wade available, Lou?
That's a big negative. Why would you guys even want him?
He's joking.
Yeah, he was a disaster.
That's from Aaron. He's joking.
Yeah. You know, I mean, the guy, I'm just going to throw out his stats: 150 at bats, 41 strikeouts on the season.
Who's that?
Wade.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
41.
Poor guy went his first game at Anaheim, 4 at bats, 4 Ks.
Yep.
I don't know if he's got a hit yet. I haven't been following too much.
Yeah, he finally got a hit tonight.
Did he?
I think it's his first of the season yet. For
the Angels?
Yeah. Occasionally a squirrel can get a net. All right, Dan. Hey, listen, I know we've gone an hour, so we're going to do it. Guys, 2 things. Let's wish Dan good luck. Number 2, I heard on Eric's show they sold another 4 squares, so we're getting pretty low. Make sure you guys think about the squares. I've done everything I can add. I don't know if I can add any more. So
don't keep adding. Look, don't keep adding. If they don't, if this isn't enough for people to buy a square, $20. I mean, you guys have an opportunity to win for $20 to help somebody out and go win 4 tickets to a ball game. You got to,
and 2 gift certificates.
Yeah.
For food.
And I mean, you're talking about a package that's worth over $1,200 for $20.
Yep.
And if you don't win, you donated to help somebody in need. That's all we're talking here, guys.
Yep.
Not if you want to get a ticket, a square, it's 4 tickets to the Giants. Thank you, George. Appreciate that comment. But go ahead and get a square, guys. It's they're not going to be up there for long, and we'll see how it goes. But
it's an Orange Friday. Those are the best nights. All right. Well, let's talk about tomorrow with Webb.
Yeah. Before we get out of here.
Yeah. So we got Webb going tomorrow, which I sort of feel. I mean, it's not a must-win, but I think the Giants, especially with an emotional series, have to come in. I don't know who this pitcher is. Gavin Williams. Are you familiar?
Oh yeah,
with him?
I know who he is.
Okay.
Yeah, he's okay. He's so.
Okay. Well, his last 2 starts at Seattle and against Houston, he pitched 10 innings, gave up 11 hits, 5 runs. So obviously, and he gave up 2 homers so he can make contact. That doesn't mean anything when they go against us. But you have Webb. Webb, he showed up the other night against Yamamoto. We know he can do it. But I think tomorrow, we need him to do 6 innings, 2 runs or less, and keep us in the game. And, hopefully we can make a few things. I mean, it's a day game tomorrow. So, usually the ball is a little bit different.
They'll probably score. They'll probably get 5 runs at least tomorrow, the Giants, I think.
Yeah.
I think they win tomorrow. And you know what? Webb's been proving himself to be an ace. Yep. Go out there and stop a 4-game losing streak. That's what you want. You know what an ace does? Exactly. Tomorrow he goes out and shuts him out. No, he doesn't. I'm not saying he has to shut him out, but Webb could do it. Webb has the ability to go out there and shut him down, and that's what
got to play clean game. No dumb base runner errors, no errors in general. Just play, good ball.
Philip's got a request to add to the package, the ticket package.
Sure, talk to me. I don't do the lap dances, but as you know, Philip, at the world famous Gold Club, they did start again on Thursday and Fridays, the $5 buffets. And they had a line around the block, and it's a pretty good buffet. I haven't been to the Gold Club probably in 10 years now, but I'll make you a deal. If you win and you want a lap dance, we'll go to the buffet and I'll buy you a lap dance. I'm that type of a guy.
There you go.
We'll go to the buffet, have a buffet for $10. We'll get in and we'll love life.
Hey, thank you, Loyalty Over Money One. Prayers, Dan. We'll see you back in action Friday. Yeah, should be back Friday. Hope the Giants can ease the pain a little tomorrow. Yeah, for sure, man. He said a deal. That's a deal. I hope he wins. I want to see that. I want to see. Yeah.
Alex, I completely agree.
Film at 11. I haven't been
completely
to any.
Agree. Because you know why? Because the girls are from San Francisco.
What's the problem with them, Lou?
They're from San Francisco. That's why it's the worst strip club.
Oh,
it's not that good. You go to Vegas, you see beautiful girls that actually do it, where most of them are single moms and they do it for the money. The girls here, they probably can't get jobs anywhere else. They're just not that attractive. Sorry. It's San Francisco. It's not like Toronto or Montreal
where it's phenomenal. But, unfortunately, you're in San Francisco. That happens. Look at the city.
Oh, boy. Lou, it's a family show. All right. Okay. Well.
All right. Well, Dan, hopefully everything goes well tomorrow, and the Giants can give you a little victory when you come out and you see and you go, "Hey, Giants are up 5-0." All right.
Yeah, I hope so. I should. Hopefully, I'll be out. Surgery's at 9:45, roughly in the morning. Hopefully, I recovery. I'm out by noon. Hopefully, sometimes I get a little groggy, so I have to tell them light on the anesthesia. So hopefully, I'm out by 12. Mark Graves is going to take me home. Going to take me there. Thanks to Mark. He's a good friend in the chat.
No, maybe you should buy some cookies for Mark as a favor.
I think I need to give him. I need to buy him some cookies. That's right. We need to send him some cookies. So I think, maybe I'll be able to watch the game if I'm still enough.
Perfect.
Yeah. If I'm.
How's the weather, by the way, there?
Hot. 113 tomorrow.
Yeah, because I have some friends that are at a convention in Las Vegas.
Same weather in Vegas as Phoenix.
108, just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So anyway, hey, look at that. There's your, instead of ELO, it's LEW. Instead of Electric Light Orchestra, it's Lou's Electric Women. There you go.
And 420, yes. But I used to go to one in Chandler where I used to live. So,
yeah, you know what Arizona weather's like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing about Tucson is, for some reason, people thought, when they come to Tucson, compared to you where you live, we're probably 15 degrees cooler in Tucson.
No, not that much. I think. Maybe,
oh yeah.
I think only about 6 or 7 degrees.
No,
cooler,
I mean, it was maybe I was there, except maybe like in June and July, it was like maybe 105 the most. I mean, you're like Blythe, California.
Oh, he's over in Kingman, another Arizona, Kingman. Yeah. I stop when I go to Vegas. That Kingman, I stop at the In-N-Out right there, right off the. It's been a few years since I've gone. You know which freeway I'm talking about? Right off the freeway on my way to Vegas, Kingman. Yeah. Okay. So Philip wants to hear it.
First of all, you got to say it right. It's.
Wait. He's got it right here. Wait, he's got it up here. Women. Where did it go? He had it up there. Chat's flying. Women. Where'd it go? Hold on. There it is.
Very good, Philip. A lot better. But I really like this girl. Well, then have her train you, Rock. Let me tell you something. You have a chance at the title right now. Women, weaken legs. I know, but I really like her. Then have her fucking train you. The late great.
Burgess Meredith.
Burgess Meredith. And AKA the Penguin. The original Penguin.
Yep. I got my good central air and my solar panels. Exactly. I run the air cool because I got the solar panels, so I'm not really paying, except for the summer. I get credits in the spring and they carry me into summer. So I don't really worry about my bill too much. So, but anyway, guys, thanks for being here. Tough loss again, 4th loss in a row. I think the Giants get it done tomorrow is my prediction. My prediction is the Giants beat the Cleveland Indians. I said it, the Cleveland Indians tomorrow. Devers launches a long ball tomorrow into the Cove. Okay.
Ooh.
You heard it here. The Giants win tomorrow 7-1. Home runs by Devers and Schmidt. Got to throw Casey in there. You know, a little bias there maybe, but
of course.
I think he's got the power, and maybe he gets one hanging. But I got Devers putting one into the Cove. 7-1 victory. Logan Webb goes 7 solid innings, and that's how I see it going down tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel good about tomorrow. Let's see what we can do. Let's get the W. It'll make the day.
Loyalty says he thinks Bailey hits a home run maybe tomorrow. Maybe so. You know, if he can get a hold of one from the left side. Who else could hit a home run tomorrow? Ramos? He could, but trying to think. Maybe Yaz.
By the way,
puts
did
one
you
out.
see why?
Maybe Yaz puts one out tomorrow.
Did you see how Encarnacion got injured? Taking batting practice, they said.
Oh, geez.
I mean, come on, dude. Yeah. DFAM.
Good luck tomorrow. Dallas says, did they already administer the anesthesia today? I think he's talking about my home run call.
Predictions. Got it.
Hey, look. I throw it up. Yeah, I think I could see 2 or 3 homers tomorrow. I can. Tomorrow, it's warm, right? We'll see.
70, 72, so it's decent.
Yeah. Should place a bet on that because if it hits, you'll be kicking yourself. Yeah. Devers gets one tomorrow. Then he gets one Saturday.
I think I'll have a big series against Boston.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for being here. Really do appreciate it. We will Lou will be here tomorrow. I'm not sure. I got to get Bora in here. Somebody's got to be able to run the board tomorrow, and we'll get it done. But we'll be here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Not after the game, but 8 o'clock. And
after the hoop game? Will it be after the basketball game or just 8 o'clock? All right, I'll be ready either way.
Yeah, lefty homers to left field if the wind's not blowing. If it's blowing in from right. Dallas says he could see 2 or 3 homers if he takes a gummy tonight. There you go. All right, I got it called. 2 to 3 homers tomorrow from the Giants. One of them coming from Devers. Not really sure who the other 1 or 2 come from. Calling a 7-1 victory for the Giants tomorrow. And I'm going to stick to it. Yeah. As soon as Rafi gets that first one, he's going to be fine at home. He's pressing. He's pressing.
A little bit. It happens.
Loyalty says Devers, Yaz, and Bailey. I could see Yaz going yard tomorrow. Yeah. Devers, Yaz. We'll see if the others. Schmidt says Dallas. I think Schmidt gets a hold of one, whether it's tomorrow or the weekend series. He's going to get one soon. See you guys. Take care. Have a great night.